Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest Manchester United news. Let's get ready for another fantastic 8 o'clock show. We've got a transfer delay with Rasmus Hojlund. We've got a Glazer update. They are apparently putting the blame onto Qatar now. We've also got links to Goretzka that we will talk about. We've also got Harry Maguire to West Ham. David Moyes is very determined. Can he make him move? We've got lots to get into on the show tonight, as I say, and we're ready for it. We're ready for it. So welcome to the show. Back in the hotel room. I'll be here for a couple of nights, but I like it. I like it. It's great being able to stream, roll into bed, go for a shit. Or a wee, or a bath, or a shower. It's good. It's nice. But before we get into all of that, see what I've just done there? I can roll over the bed into the ensuite and have a shave. And you might have noticed that I have had a shave. This is the new beard trimmer from Manscaped. It's absolutely incredible. Loads of different lengths. Very, very powerful. And I used it today and I keep talking about this. Really powerful. Loads of different lengths. Very fast. I shaved in 3.2 seconds. Red Bull, sit down. I didn't do it in 3.2 seconds, but it is very quick. It's very powerful. It's a fantastic piece of kit. They also do the weed whacker for your nose, and they do the hedge, the lawn mower for down there. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Fantastic products from Manscaped. We've been working with them for a while, but this is a really exciting product. They've got top quality products as well. You won't be disappointed. If you want to shave anywhere, Manscaped's the place to do it. 20% off. Free worldwide shipping with the code UnitedStand. Link is in the description, or you can scan that code next to me on your camera phone. Big up to them. Fantastic Manscaped. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. Right, we're going to hit the news because it's up and down. There is a story out there from Ben Jacobs that says that the Glazers are actually still trying to sell the club, but it's Qatar holding it up. We'll get into that in a minute. Did the wife kick you out, says Niall Donan. Well, imagine if she did. And you've just exposed that. I'd probably want to stop the stream and cry. So thanks, Niall. Kids are crying now. But no, that's not what happened. I'm sick reading people's support of Evans signing. Lots of Glazer supporters, I suppose, says Riker. And Will, welcome to the Members Club for 5 months. Thank you very much. Well, look, you know what? Just a glimpse into my life. I've been called a supporter of a rapist for most of the afternoon by various fans. You know why? Because we did the video about Greenwood and I said I'd loan him out and see where we are in a year. And I've been called a supporter of a rapist numerous times on social media today. Not really mere Man United fans, mainly rival fans. And you know what? There is a glimpse into the world of those people who say, let's get Mason Greenwood back in the team. Let's get my star boy back in the team. Let's get him ready to go. You've got no idea of the reaction that is out there and what he's going to have to deal with and what Man United are going to have to deal with. I haven't even said I want him back. I said I'd loan him out and see where we are in a year. And apparently I'm a rapist supporter, which is disgusting. So I don't care. I can take that on board. I've never even said to anybody what I'll do if Man United pick Mason Greenwood in the next few months. I probably know what I will do, but I'll keep my powder dry on that one. But just wake up and smell the coffee. It's not going to be nice around Manchester United if they make that decision. And I just hope that they realise that. And I hope Mason realises that. And I hope more importantly you do. Everyone happy about a young striker that can only score 9 goals in Serie A. That's full of defenders that can't even walk without a cane. Massia, thank you for being a brat. And Scott Harrop, welcome to the Members Club. Well, I want to talk about Hojlund. This is the latest on Rasmus Hojlund. It is disappointing. This is coming from Manchester Evening News. Hojlund's Manchester United announcement could be delayed by another 3 days. He arrived later than planned on Tuesday. He was due to meet supporters and conduct activities around his signing today, but that was cancelled and United are focusing on his medical. Senior Man United sources believe that Rasmus Hojlund is a rough diamond who could be developed into one of Europe's top players, blah, blah, blah. They are now looking at a possible weekend announcement for Rasmus Hojlund around the friendly against Lens on Saturday. You know what? I despair at this sort of stuff, but I suppose we don't really know the full facts. We saw it happen with Varane a couple of years ago. We've seen it happen with numerous signings. We had Here We Go a week ago, nearly. He flew into Manchester on Tuesday and we're not going to announce it till Saturday. What are we doing? What are we doing? We've had no striker all pre-season, and the last 2 games of pre-season, we're still not going to have a striker. I sometimes wonder if the tail is wagging the dog at Manchester United, because I don't get what it is we have to do that no other club needs to do. How long does it take to get a player to the UK on Tuesday and not be able to officially assign him until Saturday? What is actually going on? I think it's massively disappointing. There's a lot of people. Look, Ten Hag probably doesn't care about the fans in this sense. The players probably don't care. The club don't care. But we're in Dublin on Sunday. We've been in Vegas. We've been in New York. And these are fans that don't necessarily get to see United all the time. And I mean, look, I'm not saying that Hojlund should play so that the fans in Dublin can see him, but it's the last pre-season game before we play Wolves, and we haven't got a striker. And I find it incredible. I really do. I don't know what the delays are. We're Manchester United. I mean, he arrived a little bit late. We'll stay late and do the medical. Like, why are we not doing it now? I don't get why we take so long on things. And maybe they're doing it on purpose so that on Saturday, when there's people in the ground, they can do what they did with Varane and say, here's Rasmus Hojlund. But I'd rather he was on the pitch than, hello everybody, I'm here. We need him training. Greg says, had never heard of iSport before yesterday, was waiting for a respected journalist like Mike Keegan and Ben Jacobs for a real piece of knowledge. We'll talk about that in a bit, Greg. I'm waiting for Fred to go so he can have the number 17 shirt, says Tom. People say we're refreshing in this window. It's an absolute farce. Can't even get a signed player in quickly, says Lee. I think Ray will be a better signing than Onana, and we won the Emirates Cup, says Zane. And already tired of seeing people compare Haaland and Hojlund. They're completely different players. Also, I would loan Mason, says Z3 official. Well, thank you very much for your comments there. So yeah, it is disappointing about Rasmus Hojlund. He will sign for United. There's no doubt about that. He will sign. He will be wearing a Man United shirt. At the end of the day, it's a minor frustration, of course. But but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't highlight it, because it does seem to me to happen a lot at United. And I mean, look, this is a football club that is determined to show everybody that they're good at what they do, and yet consistently we sort of show the world why we're not necessarily good at what we do. And I think that with such a big season coming up, I just think we've been a little bit slow time and time again on the things that we've been trying to do. And I really do wish that we could just be a little bit quicker on these sort of things. But yeah, look, it is what it is. And we'll just have to deal with it, I suppose. So Rasmus Hojlund, delayed transfer, and it may well be a few more days until that is done. Hopefully not. Hopefully they can speed it through, but that's the official line well, it's not the official line, but that's the line that it's coming out at the moment. Already done that. As for comparisons with Hojlund and Haaland, remember, people need to generate conversation, and they're too naive to go and find a conversation themselves. I could do a show, Hojlund versus Haaland, couldn't I? Waste everyone else's time. There's loads of news to discuss that is more important than that without doing that. Look, one thing I would say about Hojlund before I move on, and obviously I'm sort of feeding the trolls in a certain sense. The 9 goals thing is completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Isaac of Newcastle is a really good signing. Hardly ever scored any goals in La Liga. Had a really crap goals to game ratio. Fantastic player for them. It's an irrelevance. It's an absolute irrelevance. He's a 20-year-old lad in a breakout season, and people are talking about 9 goals. If you want to talk about that, let's talk about he's got one of the best shot accuracies in the league last year. He's got some of the most touches in the box last year. There's loads to work with Rasmus Hojlund. The problem is people think we're buying Erling Haaland, and we're not. We're not buying Erling Haaland. We're buying Rasmus Hojlund. Ronnie's just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Ronnie. And nothing changes in a year, Mark. Eric Ten Hag wants him in the squad. Back the manager. He can deal with the media. And Optics FC says skydiving. Thank you very much. Well, let's talk about the sale then, because we were talking about this last night. That's the update on Rasmus Hojlund. It has been slightly delayed. So effectively, there's quite a few bits to talk about here. So Mike Keegan's always been pretty good in relation to the United sale, certainly from the Qatari side. He's done a piece tonight, as well as a couple of other people. And what he's basically said is this: negotiations are currently taking place with multiple parties as the Man United takeover saga rumbles on. Concerns had been raised that the Man United sale process might be paused to allow the Glazers to reassess their options. However, the current situation is that discussions are continuing with a number of groups with a view to a sale or a partial investment, so it is still very much continuing. And there remains a confidence among some close to Sheikh Jassim bid that they will prevail. However, neither group is thought to have got close to the $6 billion that the Glazers are reportedly seeking. So that's the latest from Mike Keegan. It's slightly different to what was reported last night. The Glazers haven't paused the process. There is still confidence from Sheikh Jassim, but nobody is close to the $6 billion that the Glazers want. I mean, we're getting into technicalities here. We haven't paused the process. The sale goes on, and yet we've not heard anything for 2 months. So something has slowed it down. It's definitely slowed down. Ben Jacobs goes on to say something else. He goes on to say there's a counter argument from those close to the Glazers or the Rain Group that says that it's Qatar who are actually slowing things down. But this is not groundbreaking news because this has been going on for 6 months where one party will blame another. So, I mean, it's a progression in a certain sense. It's a progression, of course, because basically the Glazers, Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim, don't like the fact that people are saying it's been paused 24 hours ago. So everybody's coming out saying, no, that's not the case. That's not the case. It's their fault. It's their fault. We're still confident. But that's where we were 2 months ago. So something has slowed it down. I suspect it's the price still. Mark, people call me Slow Sports News, but they are slower than a herd of turtles running through peanut butter, says Slow Sports News. Honestly, the sale is just hope at the moment Glazers won't sell. We will have the same problem this year and for all they are here for, says Ben Leach. Chris, welcome to Members Club for 3 months. Thank you very much. And more, all right, Mark, how's it going? Can you call my fiancée a prat? Says Ashley Barnes. I was just looking who you've got a picture with there, Ashley, but I can't. My eyes can't see it. Look. Interesting point in the Mike Keegan piece was that the Glazers, when they were going through the process of, I mean, this feels like a long time ago. Remember when Sir Jim attended Carrington and Old Trafford and the Qatari party attended Carrington and Old Trafford? Apparently, as part of these discussions, remember we were talking about the Adidas deal and how that Adidas deal could be quite concerning because it's a 10-year deal. Who agrees a 10-year deal if they're selling the club? It's not a good look. As I say, if I'm buying a house and while I'm going through the process of buying it, the owner rips out the kitchen and builds a new one, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why have you done that? I'm buying the house from you. Maybe I liked that kitchen. Maybe I want to design my own kitchen. So it is a little bit weird. However, there was clarity. And clarity, everybody's got a right to comment on something when they don't know the full story. Because it's opinion. But when you get more evidence, you have to backtrack and clarify. So I said that. I said, why would the Glazers agree a 10-year deal with Adidas when they're meant to be selling the club? Because that commits Sir Jim or Sheikh Jassim to Adidas for 10 years on terms they may not have wanted to do. However, Mike Keegan's piece has said that when the Glazers have been speaking to Qatar and Sir Jim about this sale, these sort of things were discussed and disclosed. The plans around upcoming brand deals that are going to occur and things like that. So it appears that Qatar and Sir Jim would be on board with the Adidas deal and would be aware of it. Not that they've negotiated it, not that they've agreed to it, more like this house is for sale and over the next few months we're getting a kitchen fitted in this style. It's up to you if you want to pull out. Or do you want to carry on? So it's not that they've had any say in it. They're just aware of it. Ethan Johnson's just gifted a membership. He's a bloody legend. It's all nonsense, Mark. Glazers don't deserve the time. It's a disgrace, says James. Eric Keys says, I'm a member of the United Stand. Thank you. Sebastian says, Mark, this stinks of Glazers riding out the storm. Qatari in, says Sebastian. You know what, Sebastian? If we were at school, I'd give you a star. Because Simon Jordan says, I always knew you were a bedroom blogger. I think Sebastian might have hit on, not necessarily the truth, but if you like a conspiracy theory, Sebastian's the king, right? Last night, Leon Jansen says, I'm also a member of the United Stand Members Club. I'm a member of the United Stand Members Club as well. Look, I'll prove it. I'm going to type hello and you'll see a badge. next to my name. There we go. United Stand. Hello. Badge. There we go. So I'm going to just hit on something here. 24 hours ago, there's a story that the sale process is paused. People are talking about protests, cancelling games, targeting sponsors. We heard all that last night. 24 hours later, it's not been paused. It's not been paused. It's Qatar who's pausing it. It's not been paused. We're still thinking about it. What? For 2 months, nothing's happened. The minute somebody says it's been paused, oh, it's not been paused. But it has been paused. It has been paused because 2 months, nothing's happened. We've had Sir Jim's going to win, second bid Qatar. We've had Qatar's going to win, oh, Sir Jim's going to win. We've had it changing from day to day for 3 or 4 months. But over the last 2 months, we've heard absolutely nothing. And then we hear the Glazers have paused the sale process. And we hear about protests for Wolves and Forest. And we hear about people getting really pissed off. And then we hear it's not been paused. It hasn't been paused. It's still going. We're still working through it. And yet we know Sir Jim and Sheikh Jassim haven't heard anything for 2 months. Of course it's been bloody paused. I think that there's a very real prospect here, like Sebastian says, that this is just spin. It's buying time. Because ultimately they know they know United fans are waking up. We were talking about it last night. People are waking up and going, they're meant to be gone by now. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. The Old Trafford is still rusting and decaying. The Ten Hag still managing the club with a hand behind his back. They're not doing anything at the moment. And they've played the game. They've played the game. They've played the game for nearly 20 years. I'm telling you, steady Eddies. They've played the game for 20 years and they're trying to play the game again. What they need is time. They always need time. European Super League, get the Glazers out. We're going to do a fan forum Skype call. And we're going to do it regularly. Just do one. They'll never remember. We're going to stay at the club, even though we said we were going to sell it. Oh, they figured it out. We're still selling it. Bloody hell, give us time. Give us time. We're back in 1989. Come on, give us time. I think it's just... And look, in fairness, the Glazers and the Rain Group might be going, it really is Qatar holding it up. We really haven't done... We're really not pausing it. Well, tough. Tough. You've done enough damage to this football club. There is no patience. There is no... there's no reason for us to give you the benefit of the doubt. You're pausing the sale for your own benefits. And I think people are just going to work with that mentality now. There we go. Why are Glazers wanting $6 billion when all the shares are not worth $4 billion? Glazeronomics Comics. Where are the sales? Says King James. And what? Thank you very much for that. Welcome to the Members Club, Nathan, as well. So that's where we are with the sale. A couple of pieces today basically saying that the sale process is still going on. But we all know for 2 months nothing's bloody happened. And there are offers on the table and they've not even asked for a third round of bidding. So that's where we are with that, I guess. Fire your questions in tonight. Really interested to see what you've got to say. I've got a couple of other things I want to talk about though. So we've spoken about Rasmus Hojlund. That's been delayed by a few days. That's the latest on the sale that I've just said there as well. One thing you might have noticed as well from today, this is from Plettigol, who works for Sky Germany. Leon Goretzka is still on Manchester United's transfer list. The last 10 days have clearly shown that he won't be a starter under Thomas Tuchel at Bayern Munich, and he's looking at his options. He's always remained on Manchester United's radar. Now, interesting. You know, it is interesting because this is a player that has been on United's radar during the Eric Ten Hag era for quite a while. And to have Goretzka thrown up again, look, I'm not going to sit here and say I think that Man United are in for Goretzka, basically. And I'm not going to say that Plettigol's wrong. I just think that there is always a way to look at transfers. And we've discussed this many a time. Player wants a new contract. Club wants to sell a player. Club player wants to leave. Man United can get mentioned in all three of those situations before you even get to the point that Man United might want him. I don't think Man United are in for Goretzka. I think Man United are in for Amrabat. Now, if we were to sell Donny, McTominay and Fred and buy Amrabat and Goretzka, we're having a party. And I think that's the sort of thing we should be doing. But we're going to keep Scott McTominay, even though we should sell him. And we're going to buy Amrabat when we get rid of Fred and Donny. That's what's going to happen. So Goretzka, I think, is a good player. He's still only 28. And I think Ten Hag would really like him. And obviously he's got very, very good connections and history with Bayern Munich. And I don't for 1 minute dismiss the fact that Erik Ten Hag would be in for Goretzka. But no, I don't see anything happening with it, if I'm being honest. Alan Noonan says, do you think if Sir Jim pulled out of the bidding would that concern them? Says Alan Noonan. Well, neither of them will pull out. Neither Sir Jim or Sheikh Jazim are going to pull out. That's not going to happen. Sumi says, no more Bayern hand-me-downs or hand-me-downs in general. Yes, Leon during his Schalke days, sign him up. But now, nah, not good enough for Bayern, says Sumi. Yeah, look, I think you make a valid point. I don't think we're going to be in for him. I think that United are focused on Amrabat. I don't think that we're looking to buy anybody else in the midfield. And I think we will be keeping Scott McTominay. And I think we'll probably keep Harry Maguire as well. Which brings me on to another point I wanted to talk about. You might have seen it earlier. Another source from West Ham, ex-West Ham employee. They're very good around West Ham. They've been out with a tweet today saying that David Moyes wants to have another go at David Moyes. David Moyes. I want to have a go at myself. I want to stand in front of the mirror after a pint of iron brew and go, who are you, Jimmy? And have a bit of a scrap. I'm going to have David Moyes versus David Moyes. Get us on the Misfits. Anyway. God. These bloody impressions aren't doing my throat any good. Anyway, the story is from this West Ham source that David Moyes wants another go at Harry Maguire. He's aware of his reluctance to come to West Ham, but David Moyes wants to pursue it another time. And I understand it. And Harry Maguire would be a good signing for David Moyes and West Ham. But I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he is. Apparently, Ten Hag, and this will never come out publicly because we know what Ten Hag does. He will sit in an interview and say, and already has said, that Harry Maguire is part of my plans. He's a big professional footballer. And he's just got to prove he can play for me. That's basically what Ten Hag will say. And we know he's said this about De Gea. And we know he's said this about Ronaldo. So he will say that publicly. But privately, and I was speaking to somebody yesterday close to the training ground. They've got a bed sit about 10-minute walk from Carrington. They haven't really. They're close to Carrington, and they said that it's very, very clear that Ten Hag has told Maguire to go. It's very, very clear that Ten Hag wants Maguire to go, but it's also very, very clear that Ten Hag hasn't got the support in that football club to move a player on like Harry Maguire, because his wage and contract and determination to stay means he probably will end up staying if he wants to. So Ten Hag wants him to go. And I mean, that's Slow Sports News. We already know the public announcement of Twitter, I'm not the captain anymore. We already know that Maguire's stock is very low at Manchester United at the moment. And look, Ten Hag is not going to look at... If Harry Maguire was 25, maybe there's a miracle. But at 30, there's no prospect of him becoming Man United's long-term future centre-back. So Ten Hag wants him to go, and it's been made very, very clear. West Ham want Harry Maguire. They want to put him in their team. They want to start him. That is an option. But I think Harry Maguire thinks he's better than West Ham. I think he thinks there's a better option. And if there is, good. Get your agent to do his work. But where is the offer? Spurs need a centre-back. They're after somebody else. Chelsea have just bought another centre-back. They didn't want Harry Maguire. Newcastle aren't interested. So you start looking at it and you go, well, you might think you're better than West Ham, but where is there for you? West Ham probably won't be in the top 8 next season, but they'll be in the Europa League. I get it. You know what? I get it. I think Maguire gets a lot of stick for not being a Man United player. I get the fact that he probably you're training every day at Man United. You've been there for 3.5 years. It's a massive club. You don't want to go from Man United to West Ham because you think you're better than that. But if the offers aren't there, you can't stay at United, mate. It's a really bad idea, because you're defying a manager that wants to get rid of you. That's never a good thing to do. And also, your England career is hanging by a thread. You go to West Ham, you'll keep your England place. You'll play in the Euros, 100%. You stay at Man United and you're not playing, you could lose your place by bloody September in England. Do you think we could get a surprise transfer at the end of the transfer window? And who do you think it should be, Darren? Look, if we can get Amrabat done quite quickly, and there's 2 or 3 weeks left of the window, you never know. But do you think we're going to get Amrabat done quickly? I think Amrabat might not sign till the end of the window. King James says, why are the Glazers wanting 6 billion? I mean, I've done that one. So look, there is a willing purchaser of Harry Maguire in West Ham. There was a willing purchaser of Scott McTominay in West Ham. United could have locked down 2 players at probably their highest value. If they were a Graf, their price is just going to come down in future years. But as I say, Ten Hag's made it very clear to Maguire that he wants him to go. Maguire at the moment doesn't seem to be a willing departer, even though West Ham are offering him a way out. Things can change. I think when the season starts, to be honest with you, if I was Eric Ten Hag, Wolves game, I wouldn't put him on the bench. Do you need 2 centre-backs on the bench? Wolves game, a week on Monday, put Lindelof on the bench, put, Delo on the bench. You don't need another defender on the bench. Luke Shaw can shift to the left. Delo can play at left back if needed. I wouldn't put him on the bench and see what happens then. It might force him to go. Do you think the lack of professionalism shocked Eric Ten Hag when he first came to the club? He's mentioned nutrition and recovery a lot. What was Ollie doing, says Harry. Hey, it's not going to turn into a slag Ole Gunnar Solskjaer off. He's a legend of the football club as a player, but as a manager, it was a joke, an absolute joke. The training was a joke. It was first cone and back, second cone and back, very basic. Many players said they were doing these training drills when they were 8. And I doubt, look, they were literally told to go on the pitch and enjoy themselves as Man United players numerous times. Who knows what was going on with recovery and diet, but clearly there needs to be better, and Ten Hag wants better. It's absolutely fine. That reminds me, actually, I'm just going to pop. We're going to carry on with some of your questions, but I saw the show this afternoon with Beth, and she ranked Eric Ten Hag's 7 official signings from 1 to 7. So I'm going to have a go at that tonight as well with your assistance. 7 signings, we will rank them. Obviously, the 7 would be Malacia, Eriksson, Casemiro, Anthony, and Martinez, and then Onana and Mount. Yeah, 7. We can do that. Do you think Evans should get a 1-year contract? Says Nathan. No, I don't. I like Johnny Evans, but if we want a centre back, we should be buying better than 35-year-old Johnny Evans, and if we're getting rid of Harry Maguire for Johnny Evans, I don't think Johnny Evans is better than Maguire, which might shock people. Have you heard any more about Bay? Can't believe he's still on our books, says Smoggy. He'll be going at some point. He actually put a picture up last week of him leaving Carrington. So, I don't know. He will go at some point. The trouble is, Man United can't get any money. The Fred deal keeps coming down. Bay's still not gone. That goalkeeper, Bishop's just gone to... Was it Scotland? Somebody made me laugh on Twitter. They were saying, how much has he gone for? And someone replied, a bag of crisps and a kiss on the cheek. You wouldn't put it past United, would you? But we're struggling to sell. And the reason we struggle to sell is because of who we are. And who we are is a football club that is a joke in the transfer industry. Agents, football clubs, intermediaries see us as a joke. And we've worked really hard this summer to try and not be a joke. But what we've actually achieved is improvement, because we haven't overpaid on anybody, but we still overpaid a bit. And they're championing that. Oh, look at us. We've done great business this summer. We've paid market value for 2 players and we're overpaying for another one. So we can't sell. Everybody knows. Look, at the end of the day, if you want to buy, I don't know, a packet of crisps, and you go into the shop, the Man United shop where they sell crisps, and you know that bag of crisps is worth 30 pence, but you know United will sell it you for 15. Are you going to pay 30 pence? Everybody knows we're crap at selling, so they take the piss. And that's just who we are. This is why we need a big change at the club. I think Maguire could benefit from having better people around him to give him truthful advice on his future career prospects, says Stephen. I don't know Harry Maguire. I don't know the people around him. Obviously, we've seen in the past people close to Maguire jumping on social media when he does well and when he does badly and getting into arguments. I don't think that's helpful. But look, these are footballers. They're not politicians. But maybe Harry Maguire is his own worst enemy. Maybe people around Harry Maguire are his own worst enemy. Obviously, it's in my interest and your interest that he leaves Manchester United. But taking that all away, I'd be overjoyed if he went to West Ham because I think he should go. But even if he was at Man City or Liverpool and he was in the same situation, I would look at it pragmatically and say, mate, the only positive you've got at the moment is your England place. You hardly played for Man United last year. There's a Euros coming. You've got to play football this year. You have to play. Whether you force a loan or you force a sale, you've got to play or you'll be out the England team. That's what I'd be saying to him. Forget proving a point. Forget your wages. Forget being stubborn. Even if it's a loan, you've got to get out because you will lose your England place. And that's the advice he should be getting. Ten Hag's done his bit. He's took the captaincy off him. That was a message. Why are Glazers wanting... We've done that one from King James. I'm tired of everyone praising the board over our summer window. Done that. Kevin Martinez, thank you very much. Oh, no, we haven't. He says, I'm tired of everyone praising the board of our summer window. Our window has been a joke and the delay of Rasmus is a joke. Thank you, Kevin. Ali says, Mark, do you think we will attack the loan market for strikers if we have a few weeks to spare and get Amrabat? Enjoy your hotel stay, my friend. Ali, thank you very much. And Ten Hag would pull his hair out if he had anything, any with Murta and co. Are so bad at getting rid of the deadwood, it's embarrassing. Roll on the 14th. Look, the thing about John Murta is, and the thing about Richard Arnold is, people want to praise them, and that's fine. Everybody has different opinions. Let's pretend I think John Murta and Richard Arnold have done a good job, right? I think they've done a good job this summer. They've got a couple of players in relatively early. Rasmus Hojlund's going to come in. All right, they've overpaid a bit. They've delayed things a bit. They've not sold many players, but I think they've done a good job, okay? Somebody says to me, you can employ better people. Do you want to keep them? Yes, I do. Thank you. Bye, John. Bye, Richard. Whatever way you look at it, whether you think they've done a good job or a bad job, I don't think they're very good at their job compared to other clubs. We need better people in those roles because the delays in transfers, the inability to sell, the delays from here we go to medical and holding up a shirt, it all adds up. They're just not efficiently, consistently good at their job. And we need better people in to this football club. All over it, but certainly in that area. We're not a bloody charity. You don't have to defend them because you think it's nice. Like, there are better people than them at their job, and we're Manchester United. Do you think Bayern Munich would put up with this? Do you think Juventus would put up with this? Do you think Real Madrid would put up with this? They wouldn't. Man City wouldn't. Newcastle won't. It's elitism in every single area, and that's what we want. It's not a personal thing. Like, we're talking about certain players. We're now talking about certain people within the club. It needs to be better. The excuses need to stop. We need to be better. I'm getting frustrated with people saying Hojlund is Haaland. They are blonde, tall and Scandinavian. That's the only similarities they have, says Jack. And Luke Andrews, welcome to the members club there. Thank you very much. Luke Barrow, welcome as well. Some other Premier League club has had bid for 80 million for Casido, says David. It won't be us. And Mojo's in the house with 20 memberships. What a legend he is there. Well, look, Mojo, you're a legend. You know, I think that. Keeps on delivering. Very consistent. He's like a top-class striker. But you know what? Somebody just said, do you think we need to exploit the loan market for strikers? Part of it's banter. Part of it is truth. I think Arsenal's transfer window has been ridiculously good. I know it's only three players, but it's £200 million. Havertz, Declan Rice, Timber. I think it's three really good players. And at £200 million, you might think that their summer's over. They're now going to spend 30 or 40 on another goalkeeper. Now, there's not anything different about Arteta to Ten Hag. That's ruthless. We had De Gea, they had Ramsdale. He's looking to bring another goalkeeper in. But Arsenal have spent 200 and then they've gone and got a goalkeeper. I don't know whether that was the intent or whether Arteta's gone 200 million, thank you very much. Actually, I do want to go for Raya, and they've gone, yeah, let's do it. That's what United need to do. Whether we will do it over the next few weeks, I don't know. I certainly think, look, João Felix is probably going to go to Barcelona. He's publicly said that. But there are opportunities out there. And I think we've got to be looking for those opportunities. We're very short in two major areas at the moment. Casemiro's position and Rasmus Hojlund's position. Now, consider Rasmus Hojlund's not even officially a Man United player yet, but even when he is, we're short in that area. Now, Amrabat does help us in the midfield in the Casemiro position, but what helps us up front? We're still ridiculously short. We seem to be massively reliant on Sancho playing as a false nine in pre-season, which to me is irrelevant. Marcus Rashford wants to play off the left, and Anthony Martial, who was injured so many times last season, but we've got a doctor from Arsenal. I mean, what sort of doctor is he? Because he's going to have to be a bloody miracle worker. He's going to need a magic wand. I read an article the other day that this new doctor we brought from Arsenal has said to Martial, don't worry, I'm going to get you playing loads this season. I mean, if only it was that easy. I've only been here last year. Oh, Martial, you've just injured your Achilles and you've injured your hamstring again. I'm the Arsenal doctor. You're not really injured. It's all in your head. It's not real. Look, ignore the scan. I know it's torn in two. You're not really injured. I'm here. I'm the Arsenal doctor. I'm the Arsenal doctor. Here I am. What's that coming up on the outside? Oh, yeah, pure bullshit. RRS, member for 6 months. Thank you very much. Dwelling into fantasy here, but I wish the football wage structure was dynamic. Rise and fall depending on performance. A zero connection. Yeah, I think football would be great. But the problem with that is Man United tries and implements that. And then Newcastle say, we're not going to do that. Come and play for us. You'll never get a wage structure like that unless everyone agrees to it. Doctor Strange saves the day, says James Lloyd, who's been a member for 11 months. Thanks, pal. Ray Cowley says, any info on Story linking us to Young? I don't know, Ray. No. And United says United, who's been a member for 4 months. Right. Keep your questions coming in, but I'm going to be a bit selfish here. I'm going to pinch it from Beth, who was on the show this afternoon, and she ranked Ten Hag's 7 official signings in his time at Manchester United. So, look, I sort of know my top 3. So we've got 7 official Ten Hag signings since he's been at the club, and I'm going to rank them now. And their 7 players are Malacia, Eriksen, Martinez, Anthony, Casemiro, Onana, and Mount. I'd like it to be an 8. Higher than an 8. Higher than an 8. It should be an 8, but we haven't got Rasmus Hojlund yet. I can't do it as a poll, Thomas, because the poll doesn't work like that. There's not 7 options. I wish there was, but I can't. So there we go. You'll have to do it in the chat. And I want you to do it in the chat. So there's a comment section. I don't know whether it's open when we're live, but it will be afterwards. So you can all do it in there and like the ones you like. Marcus Leonardo from Santos says 15 million. Says Warrior Beard Gaming. Thank you very much. And also, Made of Sounds has just gifted €10. You're a legend, mate. Thank you very much. So, in at number 7, the bottom signing for Erik Ten Hag would have to be Malacia. And that doesn't mean he's a bad signing. I think this show, Weghorst was alone, forget about it. I don't think any of the signings have been bad. And I think that's a testament to the players and Erik Ten Hag. But somebody's got to be 7th. And out of all Ten Hag signings, I would put Malacia at number 7, simply because it's totally expected for the price we paid. He's still very developmental. There's still areas of improvement. I think there's been glimpses of good. I was quite happy with his first season, but obviously, I would put him at number 7. Number 6, I would put Mason Mount at number 6, simply because we've seen absolutely nothing of him. And it's very hard, and it would be very unfair to put him at 7th, and I nearly did. But it would be ridiculous to put him at 1st, 2nd, 3rd or 4th. All he's done is played pre-season. He's a victim of time. We've only just bought him. £55 million. for a player I didn't think we needed. I'm trusting the manager on this. He's got the number 7 shirt. I'll be interested to see where he is. In fact, I want to revisit this in about 4 months' time, because it's really hard to it's very unfair on Mason Mount, to be honest, because we don't know what he's going to do really. But I would put him at number 6 at the moment, simply because I wouldn't have bought him. I was shocked when we went for him, but I'm happy we've got him, and I back Eric Ten Hag, and I like Mason Mount, but I just don't know what the purpose of Mason Mount is yet, so I have to put him at 6. Number 5 would be Anthony for me, and I really like Anthony, but it was close between Anthony and another player who will be number 4, and I like Anthony. We spent a lot of money on Anthony, and I felt his first season was a bit all over the place. Injury, some bad performances, some brilliant performances. I think this season for Anthony is a big one. There's no guarantee. I think in a year's time, if he has another season like last season, people will be using the F word. And I don't mean F off, I mean flop. So I like Anthony, but I'd put him number 5 at the moment. I'm confident. I like him. I like his passion. I like his dedication. But he's got to be fit for a long time, not get injured, and he's got to be more consistent. So I'd put Anthony at number 5. Number 4, I would put Christian Eriksen. I think that Eriksen started off really well and then fell off with the injury. So for half of his time with us, it's been really good. We really missed him when he got injured. Then he came back from the injury and he just wasn't right, and he's not looked right in pre-season either. So I think people forget that Eriksen was really important for us when he first came, but obviously the last 6 months haven't been great. So I would put him at number 4. Number 3, I'd put Onana. Now people will go, what are you talking about? Putting Onana at number 3. How can Onana be ahead of Anthony and Eriksen and Malacia when he's not even played a competitive game for Manchester United? But I think the signing is transformative. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. We've already seen in pre-season. What we haven't seen from Mount is how it's going to work. What we have seen from Onana, and we didn't need to see it, we knew it, but we have seen it, is he's transformative. The way he shouts at players is great. I've seen Schmeichel, Van der Sar and De Gea do that though. But he's a transformative signing. The status of that signing, you know what you're going to get. It's just whether it's going to be successful. So I'd put him at number 3. Number 2, Martinez. It was close, and I'm wearing the jumper, and I absolutely love the guy. The butcher is fantastic. Get yours on United Stand Shopify. I love him. I think he's fantastic. Jack says if you want to be the best, you have to get the best. Simple. And could you do a Hojlund versus Haaland head-to-head if you haven't already? No. I'm not doing a Hojlund versus Haaland. What? You've ruined my flow anyway. Why would I do a Hojlund versus Haaland head-to-head? They're just completely different players. Hojlund's a penalty box striker. He's got no build-up play. He's not very good in the press. He's a powerful, brilliant goal scorer. Hojlund is a completely different player. There's no comparison. Compare Hojlund to a player that's similar to him. What loan players would you get to fill the places in team? Says Darren. Don't care. Come back to that. So number 2, Martinez for me. What a signing. If you put Martinez ahead of Casemiro, I get it. I think Martinez has been incredible for us. Gets what Man United's all about. Fantastic centre-back. All this stuff about his height was bollocks. I love Martinez, and it's so close. But for me, number 1 is Casemiro, because we bought one of the best holding midfielders in the world, and he continued to be that at Manchester United. When he's not in the team, I'm terrified. What I loved about him last season that I didn't expect was that we almost released Casemiro into things that people never really appreciated at Real Madrid. Some of the key goals he scored for us last season. I mean that Chelsea equaliser at Stamford Bridge. The away goal, was it at Bournemouth? Just brilliant in that sense. Some of the assists he got. What was that second assist he got where he no-look passed it through to Sancho, I think. And that's just the creative side. The defensive side, well, you know what you're going to get with Casemiro. Still, for me, one of the best, if not the best, holding midfielders in the game. He had a bloody brilliant World Cup as well. I just think Casemiro, it's hard because I really like Martinez, but I just think at the moment Casemiro is ahead of him. So that would be my 7. Malacia, Mount, Anthony, Eriksen, Onana, Martinez and Casemiro. That's my ranking of Ten Hag's current official signings. What I will say is there's no flops in there. There's nobody I'm even worried about. I don't think Malacia's even in 7th place, or Mount, who we don't know much about. I'm not thinking in a year's time I'll be calling them flops. I think his recruitment has been absolutely bang on so far. And as we always say, when it comes to transfers, whether you're Pep Guardiola, Sir Alex Ferguson, Ancelotti or Neil Warnock, if you can hit 60%, 70% of your signings being good, you're doing very, very well. Well, at the moment, I think Ten Hag's hit rate is fantastic. Loving the shows. Keep it up, team, says Dean. There have been some fantastic shows recently, yes. And what was Beth's? I was too busy pissing about in the chat, I think. I sort of heard it, but I didn't resonate it. Casemiro is the GOAT. He's fought for every ball and had to do jobs for his teammates. Needs more support, though. I think Amrabat, if you know anything about Amrabat, he will bring some real personality to that midfield that we don't have. Casemiro's the only combative midfielder we've got. Bruno, Mount, Eriksen, Fred, McTominay, they're not really combative midfielders. They're not really. But Amrabat really is. He's a tackler. That's what he wants to do. And I think he'll bring some more personality to that midfield. Because if we lose Casemiro, we're back where we were. We're in big trouble again. So, yeah, it's a massively important player for us. Somebody just mentioned Jesus is out for a few weeks. Doesn't play for us, does he? Just having a quick look. Oh yeah, confirmed. Jesus is out for multiple weeks. That might be bad news, though. That might be. I mean, it's Arsenal news, but it might be bad news because if they haven't got a striker, they might pop into the transfer market. Arsenal. I mean, they're looking at a goalkeeper. They might pop into a striking market now. Martin says, Mark, people say about Eric going for players he knows is key, is in quotes, since Dortmund, both Martinez and Onana echo what the boss said to the other players and how they need to improve. Thank you, Martin. Gurav, welcome to the Members Club. And here's one for you. Who would be in your nutcase Man United 11? Players like Roy, Rojo, Keane and Cantona. Smoggy, I haven't got time to do that. It'd take me all night, but I don't think you're wrong with any of those. Going back to what was said from Martin about Ten Hag buying players that he wants. Remember, we've spoken about this and why he does it. Our recruitment team's crap. Our scouting's crap. Your Man United manager, it only takes 2 or 3 bad results and things start turning. You need to get results. What do? You go for players that you know. Because if you don't, you get a list of shit and then you'll lose your job. So I think Ten Hag, Amrabat's played for Ten Hag before. Obviously, Onana's played for Ten Hag before. He knows all about Mason Mount because he knew about him when he was playing in the Dutch League on loan. Every player he's bought this season so far, he's known something about. Martinez, Anthony, Malacia was from the Eredivisie as well. Eriksen's trained with him before. Casemiro and Hojlund are the only 2 really that don't have a massive touch point with Erik Ten Hag. So I understand why he's doing it, because he's got to get players in he knows about because he can trust them. And I think in time, look at him at Ajax. Martinez came in from Argentina. Anthony came in from Brazil. What's his name? I always forget his name. Alvarez came in from Mexico. So, look, I think we'll get to that point, but the scouting and recruitment isn't at that point yet. So he goes for players that he knows. I'd have to have Casemiro at 2 purely based on missed game time, which was completely his own doing. This is the only reason I have him at 2, says Damo. But remember, Martinez missed the last 2 months of the season as well. Donovan White, but hey, Damo, it's your choice. I'm not here to persuade. Donovan White, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. Do you think we've bidded for Lavia, Mark? No. It's not the first time we've been linked to him, and no, I don't think we are in for Lavia. I think Lavia goes to Liverpool. I think Casido goes to Chelsea, and yeah, I don't see that happening. To be honest. AP says, yeah, you're right, Mark. Eric Ten Hag scouted a lot of these players when he was at Ajax. That's why he's taking them. United scouts are rubbish. Well, yeah, you're right. Mason Mount, he knows him from when he was at, was it Utrecht? He knows him from his Ajax days. I'd say Rasmus Hojlund probably knows him. Probably knew about him at Ajax 2 years ago. Look, you don't... Casemiro's available. Do you want him? I didn't have him playing with me at Ajax. No, I'll pass that. I mean, Casemiro's just an open goal if you can buy him, isn't it? So, can someone please ask Mart about the gift from Ghent for 17 million news, says Michael. Not heard anything about it. Not anything about it. Ajax has a great scouting network, says Scarboy. They always have, and I think that's something that Manchester United need to have as well. And hopefully we'll get to that point. Right, chill time for Goldbridge. Yeah, you can see where I'm going to be chilling. Get the TV on. Nice hot chocolate, I think. But thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. Really enjoyed it. Don't forget we're sponsored by Manscaped. Fantastic products. The beard trimmer's fantastic. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. 20% off with the code United Stand. And you get free delivery as well. Take care, everyone. We're back tomorrow. I mean, look, with Rasmus Hojlund, my feeling was that it would get announced today. If not today, tomorrow. I think maybe it will be Saturday now because they're probably going to do it on the pitch, aren't they? So United like that. My only issue with that is if you wait till Saturday lunchtime to announce him, he won't play in Dublin and he hasn't trained. If you'd announced him today, he could be training tomorrow and Friday and playing a pre-season game. That boudoir looks ready for love, says Nick. We'll have none of that. Anyway, take care, everyone. Speak to you all in a bit. Fantastic show again. And thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.